We're going to start with KG, right?
Yep. All right. Rolling in 3, 2, 1. What's up, y'all? Shit. 3.
Cut.
This is going to be the best one.
All right. Hold on. Come on. In 3, 2, 1. What's up, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bartle, coming at you with another edition of Bartle's Breakdown. I'm your host, and I'm smiling from ear to ear, y'all, because I got my brothers with me today. It's part 2 of the Flyin Illini stories. Kendall Gill, Larry Smith, Marcus Liberty, and Ervin Small. What's good, fellas?
What's good?
Hey, Bartle, what's going on?
Hey, man, I know you guys, you got families and stuff. I appreciate you taking the time out, man. Larry, Marcus, Ervin, and me, Kendall, we had so much fun the first time. We're so happy that you're here, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I had fun listening to it. So, it's cool to be back on. I wish I could have been on last week, but, I'm here today. So
that's right. That's right. There you go. So, we were talking about a few things last week in terms of some stories and how we got recruiting and then, certain situations. So, Kendall, I'm going to let you kind of share with us some of your recruiting and, who are the schools that are interested and why did you choose Illinois?
Well, my final 5 were DePaul, Michigan State, Illinois, Clemson, and Iowa State.
Okay.
And I just decided not to go to Clemson because it was just too far away. I like their colors because it was orange. I like their colors for real, but that was just too far away. But to be honest with you, man, I really thought that I was if they had offered me the scholarship, that I was gonna go to DePaul. But when I went up there for the visit, they had this assistant coach named Jim Pratt.
Yeah.
And Joey Meyer was the head coach at that time because Ray Meyer had retired. And I went up there, man, and they treated me like I was out there, like I was trying to be the water boy or something, man.
Wow.
And it was, the recruiting visit was horrible, and they say, okay, well, yeah, this is where we play. This is our locker room. This thing, they walked me around. They didn't show no interest at all. So I immediately crossed them off. Growing up, of course, like we did in the Chicagoland area, DePaul was everything when we were kids.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Mark Aguirre, Terry Cummins, Teddy Grubbs, all those guys. So they played at the Rosemont Horizon. So, but then I went to Iowa State. Larry, I heard you last week say you visited Iowa State too. But I went to visit Iowa State, and they came to pick me up on this plane, this little plane. I'm like, okay, cool. Then they brought me back on this little plane. I was like, so what y'all fly on? They were like, these planes right here. I was like, no, sir. I'm not flying on them little planes. So I crossed them off the list. Then I went to Michigan State. And with Steve, you and I visited Michigan State together. Yep. And they played Michigan that weekend. And, man, they had we had a great time that weekend. Got into a bar fight. Well, not you and me, Steve, but we saw a bar fight.
Yep.
And but I just, and I really like Michigan State. So then I came to my visit at U of I. And I came during Halloween weekend, and y'all know Halloween weekend is off the chain.
Yes, sir.
Down at U of I. So Bruce Douglas hosted me, and then he handed me off. I always tease Bruce about this too. I say, man, you just took me to the hotel and dropped me off, man. You know that, right? So Glenn Blackwell became my. And Black showed me around, man. And then I hooked up with Lowell and Anthony Welch. They showed me a great time. But I still wasn't convinced. When I went back home, I said, I'm still going to go to Michigan State. So the day before I was supposed to announce where I was going to go, I remember I was downstairs. Actually, the night before, I was like, I'm going to Michigan State. I'm going to Michigan State. So I went to sleep. I get up the next morning. I'm downstairs ironing my pants. And y'all all know my brother Keith. So Keith came downstairs and said, so where's it going to be? And I said, Illinois. Just like that.
Wow.
And that's how I decided, man. And I'm glad that I came to Illinois. And I remember Judge Heathcote called me saying, But you go there, you're going to sit on the bench, you're going to do all this, you're going to do that. You know, they say they got Larry Smith, Steve Bartle, Nick Anderson, and Lord knows who else is coming there. And I was like, I know, Coach, but, I mean, that's where I feel I got to be. So, you know, and I'm glad I came, man.
Oh, shoot, we're glad you came.
Some things are destined, though, man. Some things are destined.
Yeah, some things are destined. Yep.
So, Kendall, is there a time when you felt like transferring? I mean, all four of us explain what happened, and I'm going to come back and say, listen, I didn't mean to call Lou Henson a coward. I meant to say I thought at the time he was acting like a coward. Okay, all right, go ahead, Kendall, because we all had our stories.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all remember that game our sophomore year. Marcus probably don't remember because Marcus wasn't there. But Larry and Ervin, y'all were there. Our sophomore year, man, I missed like 7 3-pointers in a row.
At
Iowa.
Yeah.
At Iowa.
Yeah.
And when we came back, Coach took me out of the starting lineup.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't get back in the starting lineup for the rest of the year. And I was like, man, I mean, it was playing, you know, mind games.
Yeah.
So I came home that summer. I told my dad, I was like, oh, Dad, I don't think I can make it there. I think I'm going to transfer, get an opportunity somewhere else. And Steve, we talked about this on your show.
Yep.
And my dad said, nope, we don't quit. You better stay down there and be a star among stars. And that clicked. And then when I came back, I just put the work in, man, all summer long, man, just put the work in. And then, you know, junior year, then that's when everything started happening for me.
You know what? I love that you share that, Kendall. Thank you. Ervin, talk to me, man, a little bit. I'm going to transition a little bit to now we're at school. We're working out sophomore, junior year. And we used to do preseason conditioning. What do you remember about the preseason conditioning stuff that we used to do?
Well, I know. We had what's that? Jim Anderson and Akeem. I remember going to the Armory, man, and we used to run those. We used to have to run in the Armory. We would run. We started off, I think, doing 5. We run in the Armory. We run the straightaways and jog the curves. Run the straightaway, jog the curves. I remember Kendall saying, man, if we can get up to 20 of these, we'll always be in shape. And, you know, the summertime is, I think, where really, because we all stayed on campus, that kind of gave us that bond, too. There was a lot of things that bonded us together, but I think that summertime and conditioning, because we were able to see each other's struggles, and I had learned from Snake, man, that, you know, when you're in that weight room, this is serious. You don't come in here playing around. You know, when I was young, I think when I set out my freshman year, I came in the weight room with y'all, and Snake was like, hey, man, don't come in here playing around, man. I'm like, man, hold on, man. He said, oh, we don't play in here. You know what I'm saying? And so you knew not to play. But the conditioning, man, was hell, really, especially when we went on the football fields. But I think it prepared us for what we was going to endure later on in the season. Yeah, it prepared us, because I think some of them I know for a fact, you know, when we used to run, Kendall used to take off on us, man, and we'd be in practice, man, we'd be chasing behind him, man, and the coach would have Ryan and all them guys marking how many times Kendall passed you, man. And, you remember that thing? Kendall just used to run past us 3-4 times. Everybody else be like we wasn't even moving. Or also in condition, I can remember where they took us out to South Farms. Yeah. They took us out to South Farms and said, okay, you guys have 12 minutes to make it back to campus, you know, to make it back to the assembly hall, you know. And Biggs got 12.30. I'm like, what is 30 seconds, man? So, you know, those are some of the things I remember about conditioning.
Marcus, what about you?
Yeah, man, I can remember some of those days, especially the conditioning part, running, and then yes, and that's a good testament of what Kendall was all about too. He didn't take it easy. He was like, so you guys got to catch up with me. So if I lap you, then that's on you, you know. So I appreciate that because he could have easily said, all right, we gonna all stick together. We're not gonna pass each other up, so we can go back to Coach Henson and we say we all made the time or whatever, right? But I can remember the weight room, man. That's what kind of threw me all off because I never lifted weights in high school.
Okay.
So when I see you guys in the weight room lifting all this weight, I'm looking and then the coach at the time, I can't remember the strength and conditioning coach we had.
Coach Crow.
Coach
Bill
Crow.
Crow.
He said we about to max out. So I'm like, max out? What you talking about? You know, so he gives me the pole and put 2 10-pound on his side. hey, and bullshit you not, excuse my language.
You good?
I had a hard time with that, man. Like, because I wasn't used to lifting weights, man. I never lift weights until I got to the University of Illinois. But when I was finished, man, I felt pretty good about myself, man. So that's one of the things that I remember, and I wish I would have did it when I was in high school, lift weights. I think that was one of the biggest things because, you know, in the Big Ten, I tell people about the conference all the time. Big Ten is a rugged type of conference, man. It's physical. If you ain't ready like that, man, it's going to be hard for you to battle with these guys, man. So that's one thing I took from the Big Ten.
That's the truth.
Larry, what did you take from the preseason conditioning? What were some of your memories from that?
Man, I was such a knucklehead. I was just like, what we lifting for? Man, for real, man, y'all, man, that's how I was. And also, if y'all remember, and we played at Huff in the fall, our freshman year. Remember we played 4-on-4, and one guy was like, hey, what's wrong with the other rim? And Snake cussed me out. I'm like, what's wrong with the other rim? We don't do that. We play 4-on-4. I'm like, how are we supposed to get in shape playing half court? Do y'all remember that, Kendall and Steve?
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm like, how let's get in shape playing 4-on-4 half court. And I should have left school then though, because this ain't my style of play. But anyway, for real though. But getting back to the conditioning part, but I learned to know what it was all about. I remember, like Mark said, we had to max out. And Steve, you were surprisingly strong. I don't know if you did, but I guess you come from that college camp. You already knew about the weightlifting part.
Him and Nick.
And Steve was
Nick,
like,
and we never lifted at Simeon.
I think I maxed out at 135, man. But you know, but that's all part of getting better and learning. Then as far as like the conditioning run from Southfield, I think we had to, was it a mile? We had to make it back in 8 minutes or something like that. And so the first week was rough, but that was just something I didn't know. Then like as far as like conditioning after practice, man, Doug Aubrey used to pass me like 20 times. Shit, I was like, for real though, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I was out of shape though. I was out of shape. So I came to realize after that first, I was like, I'm not in as great a shape as I thought I was. And I came to learn that I needed that, and that was a big part of getting better.
Right.
Yeah, some of my memories, guys, I used to love the summertime, man, because a lot of the students would leave, but a lot of the black students would stay.
Yeah.
The ladies would stay. So, you know, we worked hard during the day. No, we got our work in during the day, but then we also, it wasn't a CAMS thing. It was more like we need to go to the Q house or the Kappa house or somebody have a house party. And so the
Blackwell's house.
That's what I remember. But the conditioning.
Or the orange too. The orange is
true. The orange. That's true. Now, you guys remember when Dwight Dobb came in and that had us running sprints around a football field till we almost puked. And then we had to go to the weight room?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, the first time he said, you know what, guys, we're going to run these sprints. And he didn't tell us we were going to the weight room afterwards. We just ran the sprints. And he's like, all right, we got to go to the weight room. It's like, what we going to the weight room for? I almost threw up. What are you talking about? Man, that feeling that we used to get in our lungs and our chest, sprints and then to the weight room, I think propelled us to a Final Four run. What do you guys think?
I agree because, you know, when we had to, when KB and Lowell went down against Louisville, they didn't realize that we were still strong because he came off the bench and had the best game of, I thought, his Illini career in doing what he did against Purvis Ellison.
Yep.
Doc showed why he was the #1 player in the nation. Larry came off and showed that listen, we still got a guy that can come off and show pro potential. And I think that was a direct result from all of that work that we did in the summertime, man. That was some hard shit, man.
Yeah, it was.
People don't realize that Champaign is hot as hell in the summertime.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Especially when you on that football field.
Yeah.
You ain't got no shade.
Yeah.
And I thought that summer built that toughness that allowed us to come back from 18 against Missouri, that allowed us to come back 13 down against Syracuse, that allowed us to have two of our main guys out and beat Louisville, who had the #1 pick in the NBA draft.
Yep. Who had 4 pros. Y'all remember now they had Kenny Payne, Felton Spencer, Never Nervous Purvis, and LeBradford Smith.
Yeah.
Those are 4 first-round picks.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, that was something, man. And so, you know, we got the preseason conditioning. Was there any game, guys, that sticks out in your mind early on in the Final Four season for whatever reason? Larry, you want to go?
We were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
The first time we played Georgia Tech.
Yeah, no. That's exactly what I was going to say.
We beat the shit out them motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, boy.
We beat the shit out of them. I think it's why the second time we played them, we didn't get off to a good start. We kind of took it for granted. We beat the shit out of them in Hawaii. I was like, and they were stacked, man. Tommy Hammonds, D. Oliver, D. Scott, a couple JUCO guys that they were high on.
Yep.
We beat the shit out of them over in Hawaii.
We did.
Yep. Marcus, you got any game that sticks out to you that season?
I always go back to the Missouri game, man. Seeing how we came back from down by all those points, man, and pulled that victory out with some guys just like we saw the interview about with Kenny Battle, you know, he's our Energizer bunny. We feed off his energy. And he just, I mean, he was doing some crazy stuff out there, making some hard, difficult shots, man. And then I hit a bucket, you know, to get a 3-pointer to tie the game up or something like that. And I'm like, we actually came back and won this game, man. So that's when I knew that we were special, because that Missouri-Illinois bragging right classic games is set up just like an NCAA tournament. It's set up just like that. So I knew when we did that, I knew we were special, man.
E. Small, you got one?
I got one, but I want to piggyback on what Marcus was saying. That game in Missouri was so crazy because we was down, right? Mm-hmm. And I can remember Steve cutting on some house music in the locker room. The whole team started jumping all around, and Coach Henson came back in the locker room. What are you guys doing? Leave them alone. And it was about 20 cups of Gatorade on the table. And Coach Henson knocks the Gatorades all off. You guys better come out here ready to play. You jumping around like you won something. You act like you won, like you're winning. You're down 19. But he didn't understand what really that energized us so much, man, because we was back then. What's that dance they used to call when you bump into each other? Everybody used to bump into each
slam.
Other. Yeah, the slam. Yeah, so you know that's what we was in there doing. But the game that I remember the most was Wisconsin. At Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
How sluggish. Huh?
The Final Four year?
Yeah, when they beat us, we was #1 team in the country. And we went up to Wisconsin and we was man, we came out so it was like a cloud was over us, man.
Kendall was hurt. Kendall
wasn't. Yeah, Kendall, he had broke his foot, but
that was a Minnesota game.
That was the next game. That was the next. We played Wisconsin after we was #1. We played Minnesota. They had Trent Jackson and Danny Jones.
We played Minnesota, Ervin.
We played Minnesota.
It was Minnesota, but we beat Minnesota and lost to Wisconsin.
No, we lost to Minnesota.
We lost to Minnesota.
We lost to both.
And we lost to Wisconsin.
I remember that Wisconsin game. I remember that Wisconsin.
You know why we were hurting at Wisconsin?
We lost. But that Wisconsin game, Steve.
Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin game, wasn't that like 11 a.m. start or something though?
And
yeah, it was early.
What happened to Thursday night?
No, Wisconsin was the day game, I believe.
You're right, Larry, but what happened that Thursday before that game?
I don't remember.
We went to Michigan State and beat them like they stole something.
Oh, you sure did.
And then we went and hung out. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I remember that.
We got back to the hotel like 4 a.m. We had to leave at 6:30.
Wow.
We turn around 36 hours later. We in Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, I forgot that.
and that's when they drug us.
Yeah, they drug us, man. And I think they beat us by double digits too.
Oh, they beat us by 20, Irvin.
From the get-go. They beat us from the get-go. From ding to dome.
And
but that's that thing that when you're number one in the country, you got a target on your back.
That's true.
They was ready. They was ready, man.
They were.
And we weren't. We weren't ready. You know, that's the team that we should have beat, you know?
Yeah. And you know, y'all.
And we came one game from that season winning the Big Ten. One game.
That was the game that cost us the Big Ten title. Was at Wisconsin because we was hanging out at Michigan State.
Yep, that's what. One game from winning the Big Ten title.
Wow. KG, what about you? Any game in the preseason?
I'm with Larry when we beat Georgia Tech in Hawaii, because I'm thinking, Tommy Hammond's bona fide NBA player.
Yeah.
Dennis Scott, bona fide NBA player. Brian Oliver, bona fide, and we beat the crap out them.
Yeah.
And that game, and then the game that we had against Florida. Y'all remember they came to us?
Ooh.
Oh my God.
When that game battle dunked on Shinsis.
Yeah, and the thing is, everybody got numbers in that game.
Yeah.
And Dick Vitale said, "What else do they got over there?" You know, and he's like, "The Flyin Illini." That's the game he gave us our nickname.
Wow. You know, Dwayne Sensors he cracked my sternum bone.
In that game?
In that game. Remember Rob made me that breastplate I had to wear? Yeah, he cracked my sternum bone, man. Because you remember when he came out, he had an incident where he supposed to have did something, beat a girl with a tennis racket.
But I bet you won't. I bet you won't break your bone right now.
Tennis balls at him.
Hey guys, didn't Dwayne Sensors pass away?
Yeah, God rest his soul. He did pass away. Yep. Yeah. The game that sticks out to me, fellas, is LSU. And and you know, the funny thing, and this is for our fans. So we get down to LSU, and back in college, they used to make us wear the same thing, so we looked like a bunch of damn kindergartners running around. We had our sweats on and stuff. So we go to the mall in Baton Rouge, hanging out, what college dudes do. We go to the mall. We're gonna have fun, kill some time, and they got a very distinct accent down there, and so people kept saying "tiger bait."
Right.
And we kept saying, "What are they saying?" And one dude stopped. I was like, "What are you guys saying?" He's like, "You guys are tiger bait," meaning that the LSU Tigers are going to eat y'all up.
All right.
And everywhere we went that day, everybody kept saying, "Tiger bait, tiger bait." And so we were like, oh, okay. And then they had the Bengal tiger near the stadium.
A real one.
A real 1,800-pound Bengal tiger. Then when we got off the bus, we had to walk past his tiger.
He was right next to our locker room.
Remember that? Y'all remember that?
Yeah, he was right next to the locker room.
It was crazy. And so we sitting up here like, oh, y'all gonna try to throw some mojo on us? Oh, okay. All right. And we went out there. Do you guys remember we had 8 players in double figures that game?
Yeah.
I think Petey Wheatstraw had double figures. I'm not mistaken. I remember Petey Wheatstraw.
Yeah, he came in late and put him up. He put some numbers up.
Yeah, y'all remember that?
Yeah.
And so this is the thing I remember. And at the end of the game, we all used to come together. They would pick one person to say something. They picked me that game. I said the prayer. I said, "God, thank you for keeping us healthy. Please watch over us going home and watch us all the way to the Final Four. Amen." Dick Nagy got mad. I don't know if y'all remember that.
I do.
What did he get mad for?
What do you remember he said, Liv?
I don't remember what he said, but I remember the conversation that you had when you said that.
He got mad. He said, you shouldn't say that.
That's cocky. Being cocky.
I said, Coach, why? I said, well, you don't need to jinx us. I said, there ain't no jinx. We're the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Why can't we claim it? You know what I mean?
That's conservative thinking.
That's funny though, Marcus. You remember that?
Yeah.
And
hey, y'all said who was the toughest y'all had to guard on the last one when I wasn't here last week. Let me tell you, man. When y'all remember, we went to practice the day before we played LSU, and I saw Chris Jackson. He was sitting on the wall, all these reporters around talking to him. I was like, that little muff. I'm like, I'm looking at him like, man, we gonna kill him. Yo, I said this on my Instagram story when I put out the toughest people I had to guard. I remember guarding him the very first play, y'all. Uh-huh. And this is what happened. The crowds, I'm guarding him, right? The crowd started cheering. I didn't even know he had scored yet.
Wow.
I was like, what they clapping for? He was running back down the other end of the court. That's how good this dude was, man.
Oh, man, that's hilarious. I love it.
I'm telling you. Hey, Larry, I was so happy when you and Steve came in to take you. I was like, I need a break.
Hey, and you know what? Kendall, he wore me out, too. We couldn't do nothing with him, man. He was too quick.
Too quick, man. Too quick, man.
But he didn't play no defense, though. He didn't play no
defense. No, he
definitely didn't do that.
So, Doc, because you played with him in Denver, right?
Yeah, man. Cool dude, though. One cool dude.
Yeah, he cool dude, man. But he didn't play no D. You're right.
So, guys, let's do this. Let's talk about the coaching staff a little bit.
Okay.
And I'll let Kendall go first. Kendall, who did you have the best relationship with on the staff and why?
Oh, Coach Collins by far. You know that you should even ask that question.
I know. I just want. I'm getting some conversation started.
Yeah, Coach C recruited all of us, and you know, he was just our guy, man. You know, and actually, I think the reason why we felt, I mean, we did, the 2005 team did go to the Final Four, but the reason why we haven't had a national championship yet and gone back to the Final Four as many times as we could have is because they didn't give Coach Collins the job when Coach Henson retired.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to get off of it.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree. Marcus, who did you have the best relationship with?
Yeah, we all know it's Lou Henson, man. Nah. No, man. Like I remember when I got there, man, and Coach Collins actually, took me up under his wing, man, and showed me some things. He even told me some things about Coach Henson, what type of guy he is. He said he's not going to be the type of guy that's come to your house and sit down and have supper with your mom and dad, And then I started thinking, why would he not want to do that? I mean, we about to go play for this guy. He needs to know where I come from.
That's right, Mark.
But he didn't do that. And Coach Collins was the one that did that. Coach Collins came down in the project and hung out with my mom and my dad and actually sat down and talked to them. And I thought that was, the right thing to do because they're about to give you their son, their child. So yeah. He needed to build that relationship. So I know I'm jumping off the subject, but I think Coach Henson should have done that, man. And I to this day, I always say that, man. Even when I help young kids, I said, if you can't get to know the head coach or the head coach don't know your struggles, man, don't go there. Don't go there.
That's a great point, Marcus. And that, you know what? I don't think that's a knock on Coach Henson necessarily, but I think that was his approach. And I like the fact of what you just said because I tend to agree with you. If you want these adults, you want their child, you've got to show something up front. But Coach Collins did such a great job with that. Larry, what about you?
Of course, Coach Coombs.
No.
Hell no.
Wait on it.
Hell no. That's spit machine. But no, Coach Nagy, seriously though. And I say this because where I'm from, it's pretty much cut or dry, black and white. And growing up, wasn't really around too many white people. So for my mom to trust him to take care of her son, and we built a relationship and to this day that we kind of like have a father-son thing going. So I would have to say Coach Nagy.
Ervin?
Of course, Coach Collins, man. And I say that because Coach Collins was not only a great coach, but he was a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to emulate somebody, man, it would be Coach Collins. And Coach Collins was a jokester, man. I remember when we was all staying in Forbes and we kept calling him, man, Coach, this. We was all freshmen. Coach came over there with a whole bag of Pampers, man. You remember that, KG?
Yeah, I remember.
Came over there and said, hey, man, he told one of the girls to take the Pampers up there. He said, man, why you bring us Pampers? He says, because y'all crying like babies.
And I know he didn't say babies.
No, but I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
But Coach Collins for sure, man. And like Marcus said, Coach Collins came into the house, man. You know, I had a big thing that I was being recruited because they wanted Nick, you know. And so that's why I kind of waited. I talked about it last week, but I kind of waited to see how things was going to play out, you know, because I really wanted to go to Southern Illinois, man. They laid it out for me, man. You know, they laid it out. When I say they laid it out for me and Kenny Redfield. And
Kenny Red.
But Coach Collins came in, and actually Marcus, Coach Henson came to Inglewood. They came in. I had played in the All-Star game in Loyola, the city versus suburban game. And when I got home, they was sitting in my living room, Coach Collins and Coach Henson.
Well, man, Ervin, that means he must really wanted you, man, because Coach Henson didn't even come to my house.
Yeah, he came to the house, and they had the letter of intent right there. I said, come on, man, before you go to, you know, I said, well, all right, you know, because Nick actually signed on the airplane, I think, going to Pittsburgh to the Dapper Dan game.
Okay. Okay. Well, for me, guys, it was I'm similar to Larry because Coach Nagy recruited me, but I'd have to split between Coach Nagy and Coach Collins because whether Coach Collins recruited you or not, he would still treat you like a son.
Yeah.
And, you know, and what I mean by that, he wasn't going to always just love you up. He was going to check your behind, too, if you needed it. And there were a couple times, I don't know if y'all remember this because all y'all were on the floor pretty much, but at the Syracuse game, I foul out. And Lou Henson is snapping on me. He asked me, was I trying to throw the game? And, you know, I took offense to that. I was really upset. And I was getting ready to jump up and say something. And Coach Collins basically grabbed me by the jersey and said, you better sit your ass down. We're trying to win this game. We're trying to get the pump. Sit your ass down.
Yeah.
What he did, he looked at me like my old man would look at me like, I'll break you in half if you don't chill out. And so I got the message. Larry went in and did a great job. I think you stopped Sherman once or twice, Larry, something in a critical juncture of the game that really helped us win. And it wasn't that I didn't trust you guys. I couldn't believe Lou was saying some of the things he was saying. And so,
man, Bardo, it's crazy that you say that Syracuse game again, man. I just interviewed Derek Coleman, man.
Okay.
And you know what he said, how they lost the game, the reason why they lost the game, and it's going to be on my podcast. But he said, the reason why Syracuse lost the game, Sherman Douglas took it personal against you.
Wow.
He thought every time Steve Bardo scored, he needed to come down and try to score.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he said it on my podcast, man.
That's crazy.
That may be true, and DC is my boy, but that ain't the reason why they lost.
Right.
Hey, KG caught that one off the rim, boy. That put the nail in the coffin, didn't it, man?
Yeah, it did, because they were done after that.
Yeah. And they was going up for that rebound, and KG came over everybody and just bang, right?
Hey, you know what? Going back to Coach C taught me a life lesson one time. We were at Michigan, playing Michigan, and I believe I was either a freshman or sophomore. And you know, my mom and dad had brought me up to respect my people, meaning us black people, and
right.
But you know, Gary Grant came, y'all, and everybody know who Gary Grant is.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of saying to Gary Grant, man, you black. Man, hey, yo, Coach C looked at me, man. He looked at me just like my dad, okay? Just like my dad would. Yeah. And he said, don't you ever say that again. He said, you better respect that, man, because that's you. That's exactly what he said. Yeah. And to this day, I remember that.
Right.
You know? That's when you had them coaches. Well, the coaches like that, that's why we so good. We run through a wall for that man.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Hey guys, we're live on YouTube. But go ahead, Kendall.
Yeah, you run through a wall for men like that. And, and, you know, I thank Coach C to this day because, you know, I instill that in younger players, in my kids, and if I see a kid out on the street doing that, you know. I always go back to that lesson Coach Collins taught me.
And let me add on to that, Kendall. Let me add on to that, Kendall. Coach Collins, as far as what you said about calling each other the N-word or whatever.
Yeah.
He also he told me one day, Coach Coons used to always call me Smitty. He put me to the side when he's like, man, don't let nobody, your name ain't Smitty. That's what they trying to give you a name that's not yours. It's your last name is Smith. Don't let anybody call you Smitty. And I think that's sweet to this day with Steve. I think that's why I see everybody call you Steven. Is that have something to do with it? Coach Collins maybe pulled you to the side, or your dad, like I'm saying. I noticed that you go by Steven Bartle now. You don't go, and everybody call you that, not Steve.
You know what I did, Larry? Whenever we used to be on national television, and if I was in the starting lineup, obviously they put your name up, and they'd always spell Steve. And my mom said, the next time I see this, you don't want me to come up and tell Lou Henson, you better take care of it. And so y'all know my mom is being real nice. And she'll bite your head off if you get on the wrong side. So I went to Kent Brown, our sports information director. I said, unless you want a problem on your hands, my name is Steven. And I was very insistent on that. So Coach Collins didn't tell me that, Larry, but I'm glad he said that to you, because you know that's a lesson in us respecting ourselves.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I think another thing to add on to what I said, one of the things about Coach Collins, we all know Coach Henson had a funny coaching style. His way of coaching was not evident for the guys that he had.
Great point.
You know, he couldn't. What I'm really trying to say is he couldn't coach us. He wasn't our kind of coach. But one thing that we had on our side was Coach Collins was always a great buffer for Henson.
Yes.
Whenever Coach would get way out the box, not only would he bring him back in the box, I done seen him and Coach argue on the bench before, but Coach would also keep us to a point where, hey, sit down and it's okay. It's going, you know, he was a great. That's one of the things that I really admire about Coach Collins, him being a buffer, man. When all of us talked about that transferring, if we would have went and talked to Coach Collins, it wasn't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
But I think
it wasn't gonna happen. So you can say you're gonna transfer, whatever you're gonna do, whatever. And Coach knew and one thing about Coach Collins, he knew everything about us. He knew we was at the Union. I know y'all was at camp. I know you was dating this girl. I know who you dating. I mean, he just knew about us like a father figure, man. And that's why, you know, that's why most of us said Coach Collins, because of the way he treated us, man. It was like being a father away from home, you know.
But Ervin, Coach, reason why Coach Collins was like that with Coach Henson, because he played for Coach Henson, so he knew all the things about Coach Henson. So he was just trickling that down to us, man. That's all he was doing. Saying, I know how to handle this guy because I played for him.
Right.
So I think that helped us a lot, because Coach Collins actually was dealing with that guy for many, many years. And if you ever talk to Coach Collins about the story, how he actually became the coach, I mean, Coach Collins was dealing with inner city kids in Chicago.
Yes,
right.
Juvenile.
He was a truant officer.
Right, and so then Lou Henson actually asked him, do he want to coach? He had to think about it. He's like, I don't know if I really want to do this. But Coach Henson convinced him eventually to come on down, and rest is history, man.
You guys, man, I just had a train of thought, and I was going to ask you, what was it? Okay, here it is. What was the time that it hit you that how special our team was to the Illini fan nation? What was the game or the situation, or whether we were on the road or whether we were out somewhere? What was the time that it said in your mind, like, wait a minute, we might really have something here. We might be special to the fan base. What? Let me think. Marcus, I'm gonna let you go first on this.
You know, Bardo, man, I thought we were special from the get-go, really. I mean, from practice and all that. But to see our fans, man, you couldn't really separate the two. You couldn't say, okay, it was preseason, it was this season, because the fans always came out and supported us. It always was out in the public. Every time we go somewhere, you know, people recognize, because we did have some elite players on our team. So we were celebrities and stars, man. I think even before all this Final Four stuff happened, getting that much talent down on the campus at one time, man, was special within itself. So them fans knew that. They knew they had Chicago kids. They knew they had some down south, some Carbondale, Larry from Alden. We had guys that could really ball, and some of those people followed you. like some of the people from Carbondale actually became Illini basketball fans.
That's true.
The same thing with Larry. The same thing with me in Chicago and Kendall and Ervin and all the rest of the guys. We had a big following because we were special in high school. So when we got to the University of Illinois, it just made it a little bit bigger. Our platform was just a little bit bigger, and then we got out there and showed everybody what we was capable of doing.
Oh, that's a great point. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I think it was a game for me that it was a noise I had never heard. It was a ooh and an owl that I had never heard. But it was the Georgia Tech game when Kendall broke his foot. Yeah, I think that game was so loud and
yes, it
so
was
crazy that and the back and forth scoring and then Kendall get hurt. And the best picture, man, that I have is me and you, Steve, carrying Kendall off the court, man, with the broken foot. And that right there, that game let me know that, man, this is crazy. That's what it seemed like. It wasn't no top on the Assembly Hall. Like they had blown the top off of it, man. And so that was the game to me that was the loudest and the craziest, besides Indiana when Nick hit that shot. But that game right there, Georgia Tech, when Kendall broke his foot, I think that was the game for me.
Larry?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Kendall.
Yeah, I say the Georgia Tech game too, because they knew if we win this game, we number one in the nation.
Yeah.
And when KB dunked that basketball.
Yes.
And we all know we all know the play.
Yes, we do.
Like you said, Ervin, the top was blown off the Assembly Hall. And Steve, I remember you grabbing KB and the face that you made KB, the face that he made, and it was just electric, man. It was like euphoric, and like it's hard to get feelings like that again. We got a lot of them during the season when Nick hit the shot when we beat Syracuse to go to the Final Four, but that was one of those plays, man, that you get that feeling like you ain't never. These come around very rare, man. And that's when all of the fans knew that we were really special.
Yep, that's what I think, Kendall. I think that game, that game was off the chain, man.
Yeah, it was.
That game was. And Illinois probably had never been number one in the nation before. Before that.
Yeah.
No, they've been number one. Eddie Johnson, they were number one at one point.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, when they beat Michigan State. But go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, obviously, but. If y'all remember, it wasn't loud the whole game. The first half, it was quiet. You can hear a pin drop. So it was quiet in there that first half. And they was handing it to us.
They were.
That second half, I think, Steve, you got hot. You got like 16 in the second half.
Yeah.
We gradually broke it down. Then I think, did it go 2 overtimes or one? Was it
two?
One or two
I think it went 2 overtimes.
And then I gave that bounce pass to KB. And like I said, he rammed it on some guy. Like I said, the top came off
that was Tom Hammonds he dunked on.
He dunked on the whole team.
Man.
Because everybody jumped at that.
So it was the Georgia Tech, obviously. For me,
guys, it's gonna sound crazy. All right. It was early in the season, and we had a day off or something, and I go to camps, right? And so the co-eds and the students were always cool with us.
Right.
For some reason, there was a group of adults in there, like 20, 25 adults, and they're off in the corner. They're doing their thing or whatever. I'm kind of milling around. One of the guys sees me. He says, Bardo, hey, why don't you come over here for a second, man? The guys would love to see you. So I go over there. Man, them cats bought me. They got me drunk, man. Everybody at the table knew I was from Carbondale. Some people knew that I played against LaFonso Ellis in the super sectionals, and and I'm sitting there like, man, these cats got jobs. How do they know so much about us? But that was the day that it kind of registered like, man, we are affecting the fan base a certain way because those people knew too much about all of us, like intricate stuff. And it made me think like, that was before the internet and all that. And so I was like, man, these people are really diehard fans. And it was just crazy. And boy, I left out of there floating that night because I didn't pay for a drink, but I was so nice. All right. So Kendall, didn't you used to have to? I know Kenny Battle and Nick did. I think you used to have to use an alias when we went on the road, didn't you, for the hotels?
No, I wasn't popular like that. That was for KB and Nick and Lowell and Marcus now.
Yeah, Marcus, did you have an alias or something?
No, Ervin Small used to answer the phone for me.
Hey, our room, me and Marcus' room was the hot spot, baby. Everybody was in our room.
Spot.
Marcus used to be like, man, kick them dudes out, man. Kick them out, man. Everybody wanted to come over there and try their luck, man.
I mean,
hey, y'all remember the night before we played Syracuse, we in Minneapolis?
Yep.
So we're in Minneapolis, and I think I know Steve was in the room, but I forget, there was somebody else in the room too. I think it was you too, Ervin. But we hear this knock on the door. We in there in your room, Steve. We watching film, and we hear this knock on the door.
Uh-oh.
And we're like, who this? It was Coach Henson. We're like, what the hell are he doing here? Coach Henson don't ever come to our room.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
I remember that.
And he come in the room, hey guys, what are you doing? This and that. And then when he leave, he trip over those pizza boxes.
Oh, man.
Hey, Steve, tell the story about when we was in what was we at? When we played Villanova in Cincinnati, and Coach gets on the elevator. Coach gets on the elevator. Was you on the elevator with us?
No, because you know
what?
what?
On the elevator, there's two drunk guys on the elevator, right? Two drunk guys on the elevator. Coach and Mary is on the elevator with us.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm talking about, don't you, Kendall?
Yeah.
Coach and Mary was on the elevator with us. And the guys start harassing. They was drunk. They start harassing Mary. Hey, baby, how you, sweetheart?
Oh.
I think they got off on like the 5th or 6th floor. Now, it was me. Hey, it was like 5 of us in the elevator with Coach. Coach, they get off on like the 6th floor. We going up. And Coach, as soon as they got off, Coach was like, I was just about to get on. You remember that, KG?
I remember, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Coach said, oh, good thing they got off right there. I was just about to get them.
Hey, and y'all know Coach Henson wasn't going to bust a grape.
Wine factory, man.
Yeah, right? He wasn't going to bust a grape.
No.
Let me think here. I'm trying to think one more thing and we'll wrap up because we got so many stories. Well, you know what? You guys got anything you want to add?
Yeah, man, I want to know why all you guys went out and brought blazers. Chevrolet Blazers.
Hey, did nobody buy anything?
No, hey,
I
I bought my Corolla. I didn't get a Blazer.
I got a Prelude.
I got a Corolla. My parents bought a used Toyota Corolla.
I just want to know, man, that I know Ervin had a Blazer. Kendall had a Blazer. I had a Blazer.
Nick
had a Blazer. I know me personally, I like the Blazer, man, because it was a nice car. and I put them sounds in there, man. I put those sounds in there, and I just, I love my Blazer, man. But who you guys think had the best Blazer?
Ervin.
Ervin had
Ervin had the Batman with the baseball cap.
Yeah. He went and got light covers and he was the first dude with spinners.
Right.
On his time.
Yeah, man. But y'all remember when we went to Michigan and then we saw those cars that they had?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I was like, man, Sean Higgins had a Chrysler LeBaron convertible.
Terry Mills came and picked me up one night, even in a 280Z. I'm like, how you fitting in there?
Right.
He said, I'm the only one that fits in here.
That's right.
Nobody wants to ride.
And when I went on my visit to Syracuse, man, Derek Coleman picked me up in a Cherokee limited edition with the gold rims. I'm like, dude, how you get this?
Yeah.
It's like,
So them Blazers wasn't nothing.
Man, Blazers was nothing.
They had good summer jobs, though. They had good summer jobs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we all worked. That's right. We all worked at the University of Illinois. That's right.
I worked at the junkyard, Max Junkyard.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
Hey, Kendall had the best job because he sat at the football stadium watching the grass, and it was artificial.
No. It was the golf course.
Oh, it was a golf course. That's it. And Kendall had to watch the grass.
So Kendall messed the program.
Job.
He messed the program up for everybody else did, huh? Because he was just sitting on his ass, huh?
All right, y'all. Well, we're going to wrap it up because we got plenty more sessions to come up. Marcus, where can people find you on social media?
On Twitter at Give Me Liberty 30, man. And on Facebook, Marcus Liberty.
Where can we find that podcast that you're talking about, Marcus?
The podcast is on Believe Network. So go to believe.com. So that's BLEAV, not with the E.
Say it one more time.
BLEAV. Believe Network.
Okay. All right. Larry, where can people find you?
Shit. 2704 Sanford Avenue.
Typical Larry.
Hey,
that's it, Larry.
That's it. Seriously.
You on Facebook, dude? You on Facebook, Larry?
I don't know about all this stuff.
Okay.
You on Facebook, dude?
Oh, okay. Well, Facebook.
All right. KG?
You can find me on Instagram at official Kendall Gill, on Twitter at Kendall G13, and the same and official Kendall Gill on Facebook as well. Hey, we gotta get Petey Wheatstraw on here too, PJ Bowman, for all you guys that don't know. I want him to tell us the story about when he said, "I'm about to get heated." Y'all remember that?
Save that one. We gotta save that. We gotta save it. All right, Ervin, where can people find you, E?
E.Small on Instagram at E.Small. And then on Facebook, just Ervin Small.
Okay. And y'all can find me at Stephen Bardo on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So that'll do it for this edition. I want you guys to make sure to check in. I'm going to figure out what happened. We went live. We're live now on YouTube, so we'll finish it up. But I'll figure the situation out with Facebook next week because Zoom has us all by the short hairs right now. But until next time, take care of your families, check in, do the safety protocol. We'll get through this COVID-19 situation together.
Love you guys, man. Love you guys, brother. Love you, brothers.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.